Why does humanity fear us? Holy shit! Bro, I just got hit by a chunk of the X-Jet on my way to get coffee. My fourth Honda Civic is a pancake in a Wendy's parking lot. I have rubble in places rubble should not be. And the X-Men, again, are on television asking people why are they scared of them? Have you met yourselves? Let me tell you something about fear. Okay. Every mutant story starts the same way. Normal kid, normal Tuesday, and then puberty hits, but instead of a growth spurt or an awkward mustache, your changes practically lead to a federal emergency. Take Rogue. What was supposed to be a romantic first kiss put a kid into a coma. Another day, a young Charles Xavier hits puberty, and suddenly the unfiltered screaming thoughts of every single person within a 5-mile radius starts flooding into his skull.
One of the many spectacular things my mutation allows me to do is that I can read your mind.
And then there's Kitty Pryde, who went to sleep and phased through an entire floor, which is, for the record, the best case scenario we're apparently hoping for. Just please don't hug me. I don't want to know what happens if you phase through halfway.
Don't you know who I am?
Nobody did anything wrong. That's the important part. There's nobody to blame, no villain, no conspiracy, no secret experiment. Wolverine would be jealous. Just biology. Terrifying, unpredictable biology. And it's never private. Mutant powers never seem to activate somewhere sensible. They're always in a public cafeteria, a school bus, during gym class. At the exact moment when 37 innocent bystanders are within splash damage range. And the range for those bystanders varies wildly. The kid who turns pennies into chocolate? Weird. Concerning for several economic reasons, ultimately manageable. The kid who's going to control the weather? I wouldn't trust a kid with a credit card, and now you're giving them full weather control. The first activation is never a light breeze. It's always a goddamn hurricane that ends up destroying a school and sending someone into a DIY skydiving class. I feel for them. I do. But none of that changes what some of these people can actually do. Because I don't think the mutant rights conversation is being honest about what's on the table. We talk about gifts, but let's look at the tiers. Tier 1, the walking natural disasters. Take Cyclops. Scott Summers is by all accounts a stand-up guy, great posture, natural leader, but he was born without a biological off switch on his eyes. If his sunglasses slip off while he's sneezing, he punches a hole through anything in front of him. At least Iron Man has to build a suit. At least Captain America needed a government program. Cyclops woke up one day and discovered his eyes were a natural disaster. Then you have Storm. She is a literal goddess. But remember when she got brainwashed by that ancient Egyptian mutant and nearly altered the global jet stream? If a normal person has a bad breakup or a midlife crisis, they listen to sad playlists and eat a pint of ice cream. If an Omega level mutant has a bad day, the agricultural output of the tri-state area is wiped out for a physical quarter. I hope their therapists are exceptional, cause the global food supply chain is riding on their emotional stability. And then there's tier 2, the privacy obliterators. This is where I stopped sleeping. The telepaths, Professor Xavier, Emma Frost, Jean Grey. We are talking about people who can walk into your brain, not read your thoughts, remodel them. They can erase your first marriage, make you sincerely believe you're a golden retriever, rewrite your entire moral compass, and leave before your coffee order is ready, and you wouldn't even know. You just sit there with a completely different personality, and that's just Emma Frost having a boring Thursday.
Did I get him?
Yeah.
Like, be honest with me. Would you trust a stranger who could do that? Even a charismatic bald man with a lovely estate and a very inspirational speech. Because I remember a Tuesday a few years ago where every single human being on Earth dropped to their knees, clutching their skulls at the exact same second. Because Charles Xavier got mind controlled in a government bunker. Did the species really almost die just by one guy? Tier 3, the reality breakers. These people are practically gods and we're still fighting for civil rights? Scarlet Witch got upset, said 3 words, no more mutants, and altered the biology of 98% of her species globally. One sentence, one person and one bad day. Look at the news footage from San Francisco. Jean Grey became the Phoenix and disintegrated half of Alcatraz Island because she was having a psychological crisis. She accidentally vaporized an entire military unit because she got overwhelmed. We aren't talking about prejudices anymore. We've left that building. I am terrified that I'll bump into the wrong kid on the subway and disappear from existence. Or something worse. And age doesn't make anything better. Charles Xavier, the poster boy for peace, has a minor seizure and brain blasts 7 of his students. How the hell did he not prepare for this? They claim that most mutants don't want to hurt anyone, but it seems even the good ones are bad. Okay, I want to be fair to the X-Men for a second, but this next topic is not gonna help. They didn't create their villains, I know that, but their timeline, just look at it. Here is the recorded threats to human civilization, cross-referenced with the founding of the Xavier Institute, plotted by severity. I want you to notice something. It only goes up. Year 1, the Vanisher. Just a guy who teleported into bank vaults and stole bags of cash with dollar signs on them. Bad cape, worst record. That was the ceiling. Year 3, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Matching uniforms, custom aircraft. They took over a small South American nation for a weekend because they wanted a timeshare. And then year 7, Magneto attempts civilization restructuring. Twice. He is also, for the record, Charles Xavier's former best friend / current best friend. Their dynamic is a little confusing and alarming. Year 12, humanity builds giant purple murder robots. That might have been an overcorrection on us. I'll acknowledge that. But we didn't build them before year 1. Year 18, aliens. That's all I'm gonna say. Aliens. And then year whatever at this point, Charles Xavier became evil, I think, or maybe controlled. Hard to keep track with the multiple universes, cloning and shape-shifting. The X-Men didn't cause it, but definitely set a ceiling, and then continue to raise it, because every time they get stronger, the villains need to get stronger to fight them, and the cycle continues. In a world without the X-Men, Magneto is a very angry local politician with a podcast. In a world with them, he attempted civilizational collapse 4 times just to stay relevant. The X-Men save the world consistently, and I appreciate them. But should the world need this much saving? And should I be worried about this graph? I need to go get a coffee, but sadly my car is still in the Wendy's parking lot. 37 hours of no sleep, 2 cars this month, 1 incident involving a reality warper, and my grandmother's Thanksgiving table that I am legally not allowed to describe in detail. And the X-Men are still asking why humanity is afraid. I want to flip that question. Why has humanity not had a complete psychological collapse?
To connect.
We have mutants who control the weather, and mutants who step through time like it's a revolving door, and we're standing in line at the grocery store behind a guy who's glowing slightly, holding it together. Humans might seem like the villains, but I think they could be a lot worse. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it, subscribe, leave a comment, and have a good night.